This is Jay and I'm Judith, and this is the Tape Your Own Arm Challenge, as we're calling it. So if you guys have ever watched any of our video content, Jay is the person behind that magic. And when we were shooting our first incarnation of our stuck-up equine kinesiology taping course, Jay mentioned when he was on set that he had never worn kinesiology tape.
That's right.
It shocked me.
Yes, it did.
It did shock me. So I took it upon myself to tape Jay's arm so he could feel what it was like. And we were talking afterwards and he said it was amazing, all the things that he felt. And so we're gonna challenge you to tape your own arms so that you can see what the horses are feeling with the tape.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I've gone ahead and I have pre-cut a couple of strips of tape. I'm gonna get Jay to hold the first one. And how I did it was I just measured essentially a little bit shorter than the length from the elbow to the wrist. And so if you're doing this at home, you can use human tape and you can get that at a pharmacy. We're gonna use the horse tape because that's what we have. And I'm just gonna put Jay's wrist flexed down, and then we're gonna be taping this muscle along the top. So for our first piece of tape, we're going to tear the paper backing, give it a little tug, and I'm gonna create an anchor or a no stretch portion at Jay's elbow. And then I'm gonna hold that in place, and I'm gonna put a little tiny bit of stretch, about 20% of stretch. You can see it's really stretchy kinesiology tape. I'm just gonna put about 20% stretch on the tape and run it down the length of that muscle, and then put no stretch on the end of the piece of tape. Then I'm gonna give it a little bit of rub to activate. There's a heat activated adhesive in kinesiology tape. So giving it a rub will get it to work better. So this side, we have done the muscle from the elbow to the wrist. And that's gonna be really important because on the other arm, I'm gonna do the exact same taping, but I'm gonna start at the wrist or the insertion point of the muscle and go back to the origin, so the opposite. This one is origin to insertion, and the other side, and I'm hoping that Jay will tell you why when we get his reaction to it. So we're gonna just get that muscle to stick out again and again. No stretch anchor on the bottom. Give it a little bit of a tug. And we're gonna go with about 20% stretch up the length of that muscle. And a no stretch anchor on the end. Give it a rub for that heat activated adhesive. So now, everybody's going to have a reaction. It's going to be at different times. Different people will experience different things. Of course, if you feel discomfort or itchiness from the adhesive, we do recommend you take that off. But yeah, so just have a little move around in the tape.
It feels wild.
You can feel it right away.
Yeah. So this one here kind of feels like where it would help is if I was playing a sport, kind of keeping things in place. Not like kind of twisting too much, because there is kind of
an awareness of your arm.
For sure, 100%.
Great.
I love it. I think it would have been so valuable growing up playing things like baseball or hockey or something like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I've seen some of your tapings and some of the horses, they're all covered in tape. What that must feel like. Just from one strip, I can feel such a difference already,
and it's almost immediate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get you, Jay, to wiggle your fingers and move your arms, and then I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And the reason I'm going to ask you to close your eyes is because we're going to take the sense of vision out, and then because it's just a complicating factor, we'll say. And now, how do your arms feel now that your eyes are closed?
So the right one is kind of like wanting to come up on its own.
Yeah.
So the tape is definitely assisting the movement.
Yeah.
It almost feels like this one, the left one, is a little bit longer.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so what's really interesting about that, Jay, you can open your eyes again, sorry, I didn't mean to leave you there. So this is the arm that we did a muscle activation on. So we went from the origin to the insertion. That's gonna help activate the muscle. And this one is helping to relax the muscle, we'll say. So it's interesting that you're feeling the sense of activation. Some people will report one arm actually feeling longer than the other when you do this. So, and extremely quickly. I mean, this is real time, right? So it's kind of fun. The other thing I love that you said, that there's an awareness. And that's the other thing that kinesiology tape is great for, this proprioceptive awareness, where you are in time and space, to help the body actually function better and create increased awareness of those neural pathways that help you move. So,
you know, growing up, you always see people getting taped in the sports world.
Yeah.
But because I had never been taped, very skeptical of the whole process. Does it work? What's it doing? But the first time that you taped me, I was sold, 100%. This is wild.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for being my participant here today.
I think everybody needs to try it. Regardless of what they do, it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you can imagine this is basically what the horses feel. I don't think it's a big far leap to say this is what the horses are feeling. And there's so many possibilities. So this is just a really simple muscle activation, muscle inhibition, taping, but there's all kinds of things we can do. We can support joints that are in motion, but still allow them to have range of motion.
Right.
We can help with fascial adhesions. We can help decompress areas that are uncomfortable, you know, all kinds of things.
So give me an example. I noticed with this arm that the tape is helping to assist movement going up. How does that play a role in a horse?
So if you have a horse that has an area that's maybe become a little inactive, you want to strengthen a muscle, or you want to draw awareness to a certain part of a muscle chain when a horse is in motion to create the most efficient movement, that's what we would do. One of the tapings that I love, we call it the stifle assist taping. And we actually use this to assist all of the muscles that help to make the joint function better. So by doing that, by strengthening the surrounding areas, you get more efficient joint use.
Okay.
So less wear and tear.
Yeah.
Sounder horses long term.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jay.
Of course.
So we're going to challenge you guys to try this at home. Tape one arm on 20% stretch for activation and the other one on 20% stretch for muscle inhibition.